It's, I would like to say former glory, but it's better than it's ever been, thanks to Dr. Pennell. So let me just thank a few people for being with us tonight. We appreciate all of you, but I especially want to recognize Dr. Casa Pennell, who is inside, but she will come out. Let me recognize her husband, Jeff Forster, who is here and is waving in a very debonair way over there by the bar. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Our president of the Board of Regents is here, Mr. Lance Pyle. There you are, and his wife, Carissima. So glad to have you here. As you know, the Regents have been so supportive of this project from the beginning, and we just really appreciate the support of the university and, of course, this absolutely fabulous donor, alum, and friend, Dr. Casa Pennell, and here she is. I introduced her just saying how wonderful it is to come home to this beautiful residence. Better than it's ever been, thanks to you. So thank you so much for that. I'm just going to introduce a few more people. Dr. Robert Matheny, a former president, is standing here looking very comfortable in Dallin's old home and now this beautiful space. And Dr. Steve Gamble is here as well. Right there in front of me. Hello, Dr. Gamble. How nice to see you. And we also are very happy to have our general contractor and interior designers, Megan Hamilton, and her husband, Bobby, and Cassidy Self, her husband, Rustin. Cannot have done this without these two wonderful women who shared a vision with Dr. Pennell and then made it happen. And we can't thank you enough. To those of us for whom this house means everything, you meant the world to be able to come in and do exactly what she wanted, and that's the way we always want it. If you have not seen the portrait of Dallin Sanders done by artist Jill Bukowski, please be sure and see that it's near the front door. And Jill, where are you?
She's over behind.
Thank you. Oh, you're pointing to her, but she's invisible. She's behind tall men. But Jill, thank you. That you captured Dallin, and he'll always be in this house thanks to you. So thank you for that beautiful portrait. Please make a point of seeing it, and we'll be happy to show you where it is. Is the city manager here? Did I see her come in? I love the way, hi. Sarah, thank you for coming. Thank you to the city for supporting this effort. Everything that Eastern has really belongs to this community too, and the schools. And we just are so proud to have city and county people here recognizing this wonderful gift. I also want to mention our county manager, Amber Hamilton. Point me to where Amber's standing. Okay, thank you very much. Hi, Amber. Thank you, and thanks to the county. We know how much you support Eastern, and we want to share this wonderful space with all of you. I think that's all that I'm officially welcoming, so let me welcome the really important people. That's all of you who have come to celebrate and to thank Dr. Pennell for this beautiful gift. Now, she will be speaking later, but right now I'd like to introduce another person who is very instrumental in putting this project together, and that's Noelle Bartle. And Noelle will be reading something sent by Penny Sanders. So you can never get away from the Sanders family. They are always with us. So Penny sent something since she could not be here. And I'm going to ask Noelle if she'll read it for us. So don't stand too close to the speaker, it squeaks.
And evolving for 4 years and during a pandemic, so we won't rename it the COVID house. It is the Casita, or the Casa del Sol, and we got the Casita up front that will be for dignitaries and special guests, guest speakers, job candidates, as well as the back apartment here is now a suite as well. So Enrique is Dr. Pennell's friend, and he's offered to let everybody go through the door's unlocked. Door's unlocked. You are going to fall in love with the shower in there. It is gorgeous. So anyway, welcome. Let me read Penny's statement to everyone. So let me hold it in place. Hi, everyone. My brother Rob and my wife Carol and I regret that we cannot be here today for this event, as Dr. Pennell opens the doors of the new and improved version of what will always be known in our hearts as the Casa del Sol. You may or may not know the original structure was designed by the famed New Mexico architect John Galmeen, and it was built by Adobe, by the first owners themselves, Dr. Bartlett Dewey and his wife Evelyn. Dr. Dewey was a chemistry professor at ENMU in the 40s and the nephew of Thomas Dewey, the governor of New York, who you might remember from the Chicago Tribune headline, "Dewey wins." Well, he didn't, but as far as I know, that has little to do with Bartlett and Evelyn's decision to build the house by themselves, but I do find it to be a lovely historical tidbit. Evelyn later wrote a book outlining all the interesting history related to the John Galmeen design and the process of building the house themselves, along with neighbors and friends. She was the one who named it Casa del Sol, House of the Sun. My parents bought the house from Dr. and Mrs. Guy Wade in 1975. I was 15. Rob was 13. At the time, I personally had no sense of historic significance of the house and often referred to it as the Hogan. In addition, I was also fairly perturbed at my eccentric father, who moved us from a brand new 1970s house near our friends and 2 blocks from the high school to live in what I saw as a 2-bedroom adobe hut, where I suddenly had to share a bedroom with my brother. He promised to add a bedroom and perhaps a pool. These things never materialized, but what did begin to happen is that the spirit of the Casa del Sol came alive. My parents hosted literally thousands of people in this backyard over the 24-year period between 1975 and 1999. On September 5th, 1999, we hosted Dallin's final party here with about 400 to 500 guests of his closest friends to celebrate his life and commemorate all of the wonderful memories made right here in this beautiful setting. Obviously, there are lots and lots of great stories I could share with you about the special meaning this place has in our hearts and in the hearts of so many past ENMU students, faculty, and staff, as well as members of the community of Portales and Roosevelt County. It was also my dad's wish that this special place could belong to the university. And now, because of the unbelievable kindness and generosity of Dr. Gay Sue Pinnell, it will be. Thank you, Gay, for doing this for us, the Sanders family, and more importantly, for our beloved ENMU. I feel fairly sure my parents are hovering over right now, smiling down on all of you. Sorry, I don't want to creep anyone out, but if you knew them, you knew it's probably true. Anyway, please know that at any time anyone walks into this house or out on this backyard, the spirit of Dallin and Mickey will be in the vicinity, reminding you that this was and is a special place, and that the love and happy memories shared by the Sanders family will always abide here. Thank you, Gay, Megan, and Cassidy, for everything. And thanks also to Noelle Bartle for all that you have done as well. This is amazing. So I wish they could have been here, Penny and Carolyn. So, but yes, I think many of us have spent numerous receptions in this backyard as students, as community members. I think our Sigma Nu reunion, or formals were in the backyard when Dallin and Mickey were here. He was one of my references. Yes. Weddings and everything. But someone who will have a tremendous length of stories to tell that may or may not need to be told in public. But we did. We asked Dr. Robert Matheny, who had a long friendship with Dallin and Mickey, to share a few tidbits of their friendship too, and maybe a little story about the home too. So please welcome Dr. Robert Matheny.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to see anybody at this age, and appreciate very much seeing you all here, and particularly Dr. Pinnell. We thank you for everything you've done, and this is just a miracle kind of event. Dallin and I worked together for many years, and he's one of those people that universities talk about. He was here at the right time for what he was able to do. Well, he probably would have been okay any time, but he was especially valuable to Eastern New Mexico University when he was head of the Campus Union building and a lot of the student affairs and so forth. And we just seem to show up at everything together. And as a matter of fact, my wife and I had decided that we would work all day and we would try and be home by 9 o'clock at night. But otherwise, we would probably be doing something every night. And that happened pretty much, I think, for the 6-7 years that we were in the president's office. But it was a lot of fun. We always got to bed at 9 o'clock so we could get up and do the same thing again tomorrow. But Dallin and I seem to show up at the same things. I don't think I ever went anywhere, did anything, whether it was with the Chamber of Commerce or with the state legislature. I would look around and there's Dallin Sanders, and he is doing his job. And he did this consistently, of course, until his death, and he did a super job with the students. And but one thing he left with me, I would see him at all these places. Well, we attended probably 2 funerals a week, and I kind of got the reputation that when Matheny shows up, people die. But it was one of those things in which, because of students and faculty and so forth, and being a part of the community, we really knew an awful lot of people in this part of the world. And so we did that. And every time I would show up and see what Dal, I remember the first time he thought of doing this, it was Woody Allen time in the movies. And so everybody was quoting Woody Allen. But he came up to me and he looked at me and he said, you know, showing up is 90% of life. Well, I heard that everywhere I went because Dallin was there and he would just point at me and say, you showed up. Well, he showed up before I did, probably. But it was a great relationship and a fun time, and Sandra and I will never forget it. Thank you very much.
At a past homecoming, she is one of our past Educator Hall of Honor inductees and an outstanding alum. So every department on campus recognizes her tremendous career success, and we're very blessed to have someone that grew up in Portales, as well as attended Eastern, who wanted to give back to Portales and the youth of Portales and the future youth of Portales. And last night we celebrated our educators in the community, in the College of Education, and the Portales schools, for the co-teaching grant that Dr. Pinnell is helping with this year, or the next several years. And it's wonderful because it's helping the community, the teachers be excited about their jobs with literacy and really connecting and really analyzing deeper in their hearts how they can benefit or help the children with their reading and help the next generation of teachers. And at the same time, all the children in Portales from today on are benefiting from these methods. So without her vision of sharing early childhood literacy and co-teaching, this would not be happening for Portales. So we're way ahead of the game for our youth. So please welcome me, or help me welcome Dr. Gesu Pinnell and thank her with a big round of applause for everything that
she's been doing. Thanks, Noelle. It wasn't intended to be so long since 2017, but we had a little pandemic and totally broken plumbing and electricity that had to be replaced. But here we are, and I want to thank my husband, Jeff Forster, who is himself an educator and has been very encouraging when, you know, Megan and I would talk on the phone and say, what are we going to do? And it always turned out right because the vision was there. We had a visionary president who supported the effort. We had all kinds of people who were dedicated to it. And thank you, Cassidy, for your designing artistry. And I want to thank my friend Enrique Puig, professor at University of Central Florida, himself an expert on coaching with several books, who has heard about the effort. Well, you've been to Portales 3 times now.
This is my second time.
Second time. And dedicated to it. He's even been to Roswell. Famous place. You know, it's very interesting. I don't come from a famous place. When I meet people in the Midwest and East, they say, "Oh, where did you go to school?" And I say, "Eastern New Mexico University." And they say, "Oh." I say, where did you grow up? Portales, New Mexico. And I think it will become well known because I talk about it all the time. And it's good to be from a place like this that's solidly invested in collaboration to grow new generations, that are dedicated to helping this town thrive. And some of the people who've been really helpful with that are Dick and Lyndall Hood. They look a lot younger than I do, but we all went to high school together. And I also want to thank Jill and Janie, the little sisters, I emphasize that, of my friend Judy Kroom. We graduated together, and Jill's been recognized. And this is a family of artists. All three of these friends of mine are artists. So I think what we have put together here with everybody's help and Megan's skilled guidance, to me, is a work of art. Being inside this house with its history and the work that went into it in the beginning, can you imagine a house built by college professors? This is not their expertise. And I was so moved the first time I was here to read about these professors who got in their trucks and went up to Cloudcroft and cut down trees, same trees. And I don't know what they did to them, but, and I read these names. And when my father came here as a new professor, most of these guys were already here, and I recognized their names. In fact, I dated the sons of one of them. That they had put this much commitment into authenticity and New Mexico historic, the heritage. And to bring this jewel, it's work of art, near campus, and, well, really on campus now, and have it available. My vision for this is a meeting place. And I think, Patrice has expressed this so beautifully. It's where people meet, have conversations. This is what we need. Not coming together and you can argue, you can have iced tea, you can sit down at a table, and this is what it's all about, and this is what creates community. Eastern would not be what it is without the community. Our schools and the children here would not get what they need without the community. And so it's my hope that this is a place that just stays alive, brings people together, helps them enjoy each other, see the point of view of many different people that go into the life of the child. And I hope you have time to examine the beautiful rug by Irvin Trujillo, which is on the wall. This is a silk and wool rug. It took him at least a year to weave it, at least a year. That probably did not include dyeing the wool. And to me, this beautifully woven piece of art, which has won many prizes, but that's not the important thing about it, symbolizes bringing together all of the strands that are represented really here tonight, from the past, from the present, going into the future, the community, the schools, Eastern. What a great education place. And I'm very proud to tell people about it. So thank you all for being here tonight and for supporting the work.
We'd like to do our official dedication part and ask our Board of Regents President, Mr. Lance Pyle, to come up and say a few words as the university moves into a new exciting era. Casa del Sol will be right here along with it to add that energy. So please welcome Mr. Lance Pyle.
Thanks, Noel. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here this evening. We know the worth of an institution when we see alums like Dr. Pennell, who graduated, built distinguished careers for themselves, and came home to Eastern to give back to the university that started them on their way. Not only with this gift of this beautiful home, but with her co-teaching project and her support of Childhood Development Center on campus, Dr. Pennell's vision to touch the lives of our children, students, and educators. I have no greater privilege as a regent as seeing this homecoming of generosity and alum who sets us on the road to make an ENMU a better institution, more responsive to our mission, and our legacy to teacher education. On behalf of Eastern New Mexico University Board of Regents, it's my honor and privilege to officially accept Dr. Pennell's generous gift of Casa del Sol. Thank you, Dr. Pennell.
And thank you, President Pyle. I think that was just heartfelt and expresses so much of what we feel for you. We call it the House of the Sun, but it's really the house of a visionary. And last night we discovered it's the house of a soulmate. If you could have seen the teachers and the faculty of Eastern clustering around Dr. Pennell, you know they will always welcome her. They will always think of her as one of them and one of their own. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for those words, President Pyle. I love the image of Child Development Center co-teaching educators. It's a perfect sequence for Eastern, and thank you for making it a reality. Thanks for all of you for coming. Please take advantage of seeing this exquisite home that Enrique has unlocked the door to, and visit with Dr. Pennell and look at the beautiful tapestry inside and eat every particle of this food. Okay. Thank you, and thanks for being here. Appreciate it.